Hello channel viewers, I am DS Psychologist and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, we are going to continue to talk about defense mechanisms, and we are going to talk about a defense mechanisms that the people around us and even ourselves may use a lot, and that is rationalization. Generally, rationalization is about giving an excuse or an explanation for our deeds, or it could be an excuse for our failure. So I am going to give you a lot of examples of rationalization, and I am sure you can identify with these examples. In our very first episode on defense mechanisms, we mentioned that defense mechanisms are mechanisms that human beings adopt to protect their ego. Sometimes our decisions can bring a lot of anxiety. Our failures can also bring us a lot of anxieties. How do we cope? We cope by using defense mechanisms. Rationalization is by far one of the most used defense mechanisms.
Could be your bridesmaid.
No, she's too common.
Rationalization can be used when human beings make a wrong decision. This is to protect their ego. So for example, you might say something like, I didn't think she was going to scam me of my money. She looked so sincere. They will not blame themselves. They would put the blame on other people. Usually, rationalization is self-serving. It tries to protect the ego by putting the blame on something else. So, you did not get good results, not because you did not study, but because you worked till very late the previous day, or your lecturer was not teaching well. So when you come up with explanations like that, it is an indication of the use of rationalization. Alternatively, we also use rationalization for our own failures. So for example, you did not get invited to that esteemed party. The birthday boy did not invite you. So when asked, you might say, oh, it's okay, I didn't want to go anyway. I had something on already.
I didn't want to go anyway.
So this is a form of rationalization because you come up with an excuse to justify your failure. So rationalization is used to make our decisions more justifiable or to make our failures more bearable. So one of my psychology lecturers shared one of her personal stories. She told us that she had wanted to be a model when she was very young. However, she did not manage to grow tall, and so she could not become a model. So she made a rationalization. She said, it's okay, all these models take drugs in the end anyway. So that made her feel better. Have you used rationalization before? I'm sure at one point or another in our life, we sure have had used rationalization. For example, there may have been a person that you liked, but you did not take action because you rationalized that the person will not like you anyway because he or she is too good for you. So rationalization helps to protect you because by rationalizing to yourself, you need not do anything. You give a reason for yourself not to take action because taking action is going to be more anxiety provoking. What if you fail? So when you rationalize, you also deny yourself of the potential that the person might really like you too. So on the other hand, we also hear of another type of rationalization very often, and that is that from smokers. So a smoker might tell you that he has decided not to quit smoking. Why? Because his father had died recently, but it's not because of lung cancer. His father died due to a car accident, and his father had been smoking for 40 years. So the same will go for me. I can keep on smoking. I won't get lung cancer. Because why? My father didn't get it. So why should I? So this is a very common type of rationalization. Using other people as example to justify your own behavior. So if you look at it this way, rationalization is actually a form of self-deception. On a more serious note, rationalization is used by some to cover up mistakes and to cover up very big mistakes. So imagine a group of surgeons having committed a mistake that actually cost the life of a patient during an operation.
Oh shit! This guy's gonna die!
So they might rationalize that since the patient has already died, then there is nothing else they could do. They should not go to jail because they are surgeons. Their life is important because they can help to save more people. Sometimes after having committed mistakes, a lot of people might also rationalize that these things do happen. So I remember watching a movie in 2004, and that movie is called Bad Education. So it's about a group of priests who go about molesting their own church choir boys. So towards the end of the movie, one of the priests was talking to another priest, and they were talking about their own deeds of molesting their boys. Priest A was telling Priest B, if I don't say, and you don't say, and all the other priests don't say, then nobody will know. Priest B replied, but God knows. Priest A said, but God is on our side. So this is a very classic case of rationalization. This is just part of a movie that I quote because it has left a huge impression on me. I laughed very heartily during the time when I watched that part. So no offense is intended to any Christians or Catholics. Now that you know what rationalization is, let's develop this further. Psychoanalysts have been able to distinguish between negative rationalization and positive rationalization. Negative rationalization happens when our reasoning is undermined. So we come out to become very self-serving, self-deceptive, and definitely this is not healthy. Nonetheless, it is also possible to have positive examples of rationalization. When a person uses positive rationalization, they are actually demonstrating a more mature use of rationalization. And that use is acceptable. So what are mature positive examples of the use of rationalization? So when some things happen, you might say, we are just not meant to be. God has a better plan. So in that way, we are trying to make the truth that hurts more bearable for us, yet we maintain some form of optimism, which is good. Well, I hope that this episode has helped you to understand this defense mechanism known as rationalization more. So as a psychology channel, Channel NITT is dedicated to producing a lot of videos like this. We also produce personality videos. So if you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can continue to add value to you. Do remember to check out our other videos, and I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.